Hi folks, so this is question 3. So for the first part, show that x equals 4 is a solution of x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. So it's easy enough. All you have to do is you just have to put in a 4 in instead of the x in both places and just make sure that it equals 0. So x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. So instead of x squared we have 4 squared minus 2 times 4 minus 8 equals 0. So I'm putting it in brackets there. So 4 squared is 16, take away 2 times 4 is 8, take away 8 equals 0, and then 16 minus 8 obviously has to be 0, so 0 equals 0. So we can give it a tick there, so that's true, so it works out. The second part then, the equation x squared plus ax plus b equals 0 has solutions x equals 5 and x equals minus 2. So this isn't as straightforward then, obviously. But we can use the same thing again. So x equals 5 and x equals minus 2 are both solutions of this. So let's sub in both of them anyway. Let's put a 5 in instead of the x first. So x squared plus ax plus b is equal to 0. Let's put in a 5 instead of the x. So 5 squared plus a times 5 plus b is equal to 0. So 5 squared is 25. 25 plus 5a plus b is equal to 0. Let's rearrange it around a little bit so we can have 5a plus b is equal to, and if I move the 25 across, it's minus 25. So that's an equation there I formed from the first part, from just subbing in 5 in instead of x. And now let's sub in minus 2. So same thing again, x squared plus ax plus b is equal to 0. So let's sub in a minus 2. So we've minus 2 to be squared plus a times minus 2 plus b is equal to 0. Minus 2 to be squared is 4. Minus 2a plus b is equal to 0. Let's move across the 4, so we get minus 2a plus b is equal to minus 4. If I just multiply across by minus 1, then it'll just make more things positive than there is at the minute. You don't really have to do it, but let's do it anyway. So we get 2a minus b is equal to 4. I'm just multiplying everything there by minus 1 just to make the equation look a little bit nicer than having the minuses in it. So we get two equations here. So you've got two equations, so you can use simultaneous equations then to solve them. So that's what you have to do here. So 5a plus b is equal to minus 25. 2a minus b is equal to 4. So you'll notice here straight away you don't have to change around either of the equations. The two b's, they'll cancel out, and then we can add together. So 7 is equal to minus 25 plus 4 is minus 21. So we get 7a is equal to minus 21. So you just divide across by 7. So a is equal to minus 3. So a is minus 3. We know that a is minus 3 now, so you take one of the equations, either the top one or the bottom one. Let's just take the top one. So 5a plus b is equal to minus 25. I can put in a minus 3 instead of the a. So 5 multiplied by minus 3 plus b is equal to minus 25. That'll be minus 15 plus b is equal to minus 25. Move across the minus 15, it becomes plus 15. So we get minus 10. So b is equal to minus 10. So that's the answer. Now, there is actually another way, an easier way probably that you could do it. I just realised going through it. If you go back to the start again, because there's a lot of work on that, you have to do simultaneous equations. X equals 5 and x equals minus 2 are solutions. Okay, so x equals 5 and x equals minus 2. So what you can take from that is you could take that x minus 5, so if we bring over and change the sign, and x plus 2, so the opposite signs, they have to be factors then of it. So they have to multiply to give you 0 then. So if they multiply to give you 0, if I just multiply out the double brackets now, so go off and do the grid method or just multiply them out, so we get x squared plus 2x minus 5x minus 10 is equal to 0. And then in the middle we get, so we just combine these two. So we get x squared minus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. And then you can actually read off what the a and the b are, okay, because the equation x squared plus ax plus b, so in front of the x here then is the minus 3, so a has to be minus 3, and then the b has to be this one, so b is equal to minus 10. So that's an easier way of doing it, but I imagine a lot of people would have done it that way, the first way, where you're just subbing in the numbers. You get two equations, and then you can use simultaneous equations. So both ways will work. The last part, find the solutions of this quadratic equation, and they say give your answer to 2 decimal places. So when they say give your answer to a certain number of decimal places, that's a clue that you're going to use the minus b formula. So a will be the number in front of the x squared, so a is 5 here, b is what's in front of the x term, so that's minus 2, and c is the minus 9. And we're going to use the formula minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So that's in your log tables as well. And you're just going to sub into that. So minus b, so we get minus, and b is minus 2, so it's minus minus 2. So that'll be positive 2 plus or minus square root of minus 2 to be squared minus 4 times 5 times minus 9 all over 2 times 5, 2a on the bottom. And you can go straight to the calculator if you want, and you can put in all that with a minus and then put it in with a plus, or if you want to tidy it up a little bit, you can do 2 plus or minus square root of, so that would be 4 there, and you're doing minus 4 times 5 would be 20 times minus 9, so it'll be plus anyway, and then 20 times 9 would be 180. So you'll have 4 plus 180, so it'll be 184. Now you can do all that in the calculator, don't be getting worried if you don't understand all that. 2 times 5 on the bottom is 10, and then you just need to split it into both options then, so it'll be 2 minus root 184 over 10, or 2 plus root 184 over 10. And then they ask us to give the answer to 2 decimal places. Yep. So yeah, so first answer will be well, the plus 1 would be 1.56. That's when you round it off. And then the other answer is minus 1.16. That's when you round it off as well. So those are our 2 answers to 2 decimal places, and that's it. That's all for question 3.